begin to see life. And well, that is, there is also a paraphernalia attached to this philosophy which I would better not discuss at this time. According to some other religions, souls are created. Now, when you begin to conceive the concept of creation here, then there are two different views. Some people hold that soul is created independently and then it is introduced into body. And some believe that soul is not an independent creation. It is the evolution of life, evolution of existence itself, which ultimately culminates in the creation of consciousness. And that consciousness can be treated in two ways. A consciousness which is only dependent upon, in its existence, upon a material contact with the body which gave birth to it. As long as the contact is there, the consciousness will remain. Some believe that this should not be called a soul. Like in animal kingdom, so many things are born and die, and these people which I am referring to, they believe that their consciousness also dies with them. There is no independent existence after the death of the body. So death is just disorganization, that's all. Now, those who believe in this, when they travel further towards maturity of life, according to them, a stage is reached where this consciousness has ripened, and it has reached the age of majority and adulthood, and it is no longer dependent upon in its existence upon the body which gave birth to it. Now, that is the concept of Islam as we understand it. That in man, religion was revealed because he was to live beyond his material existence, and the religion had to prepare him for his existence after death. Religion was not revealed to the earlier forms of life because they died with their physical death. So they were not to be prepared for anything beyond that existence. Now, if you fully understand this phenomena, then soul is not created at all at any stage except in the first instance. When life was first created, the first cell, which you could call live according to the scientific definition, when this came into being, that was the soul which was created. And ever since, it is the development of the same. And this is exactly how you are born. I mean, the germ which carries the seed of life, that is transferred from man to man, from generation to generation. And if it is live, then it will give birth to a live child, a child with a soul. If it is dead, then it cannot create anything. But it's a continuation. There is no break whatsoever, and you can trace it back to the first amoeba, or even before that, to the first germ of life which came into being. And it's a completely continuous chain, unbroken chain. So that shows that life is a quality of organization of matter which gradually precipitates and begins to have its independent creation. And when this independent creation is achieved, that is the stage where we begin to call this species Homo sapiens, human beings. And this is the time when they require some teachings, because if the life has reached a stage where it can go beyond the material bondage, then it must be prepared. If there is some creator, it must give him and tell him the rules and regulations to improve the quality of his existence after death. Otherwise it will be meaningless. So the soul is never created outside. It is created with the phenomena of birth, and it has always been there continuously. In childhood, when a child is born, then an independent soul is also born, which was already there but not independently. Before the child came to its own, whatever existence it had in some form in his father or in his mother, of course it had some seed of soul, but that was not developed enough to be independent. Like a concoction, two things had to be mixed to give birth to a different quality. So this different quality is born out of the union of the male and the female's reproductive organs and sperm and ovum. But both had the quality, and that quality wedded together gave birth to a child which now can live independently. This is in plain what is told to us by the Holy Quran, but that is not all. The Holy Quran also tells us that when man reached the stage of Homo sapien, that is the technical term for human beings, he was still not capable of living an independent life. It was still in earlier stages. So Allah had to take him through generations of development and prepare him for the reception of Allah's will and His word. Until he was not prepared as such, religion was not revealed to him. When he was prepared, then religion was revealed to him. And once it was revealed, then he became answerable. At the cost of his own independence, at his own liberty in some ways, but also to gain an independent and continuous life. So it was a very little cost he had to pay for eternity. So that soul is in a way eternal in the sense that it is not eternal but a continuity of life since the inception of life on earth, and it will continue like this. Once the chain is broken at any stage, that branch of life cannot be revived again. Do whatever you please, you will not be able to transfer all that you inherited from the past generations to the future generation. This is what I mean by the death of the germ which is responsible for creation. Now you understand? No, not fully. Yes, I could see it on your face. Now, what I mean to say is, now do you understand what my Muslim mind wanted to say to you? How man is, a soul is created within the uterus. What he wanted to say was that it doesn't come from outside. It is not created and instilled into that fetus. It grows along with it. It was all the time there, but not independently. Now it is taking a shape where it could live independently and enjoy an independent existence, where even if the child is dead, something will live on and on. That is soul, and that is born in the sense that it is developed, not created independently. It is developed in the uterus. Have I been able to make it clear or not yet? Huh? Yes? If there are any doubts, please ask, because there are other children also, and I don't want you to miss